Hey everyone, how you doing? Hello. Let me give Facebook a minute to send out the notifications, say hi. Oh, it popped up on mine because the notifications started going out. I know that they kind of send it out in sequence, so not everybody gets them at the same exact time, but alphabetically I'm probably at the top of the list. The A's usually are. Okay, so let's see if I can hit refresh on this. And my computer needs an update to restart. Yay, fun. Right. So let's see if I can get this on here. It does look like my head is cut off again. Sorry about that. Keep adjusting it, but every time I take my cell phone off of this, it just doesn't want to work that great. Okay, I'll try that. Hopefully that'll work now. That's the hope. Not, I suppose I could probably slide my desk forward a little bit. Maybe I did slide my desk. Maybe that's why I changed the view. Okay. So, not too bad. Let's slide this up a little. Or not. All right, so what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna talk about the little mini kits that I have put together and all the different things I pulled out. I just like went through the room and just pulled different things that you will be able to use in order to, with the mini kit that you get. So let me just set those up there. Oops, forgot about these. Okay, to grab out more things that I had. Okay, so the mini kits. I have these for like $5 on my VIP group, and you can kind of get different deals for all different kinds of bundles on there. Pop over to that and you can get them. It's free and everything. It's not a public page like this one. In the little mini kit that you get with the little bag, move these to the side so you can kind of see. Make sure you can see well. Okay, so in the mini kit bag that you get, pull it out. You get the little bag that comes with a little half a mini squeegee. You get the black chalk chip, which is two-sided, a little wooden chip, which is two-sided, a piece of cork, which has a sticky back if you want to stick it on anything. You get a paste packet, and the little one of the little mini transfers, and it could be a random one, unless you pick out on my page what you want, depending on what I have available at the time. And then with the paste packet, you can do this about 80 times. I think it's probably over 100, but we did test it one time. Someone tested it and did a video on it, and it was like a good 80 plus times that you could do it with. And they just kept doing it over and over and over again. The transfers are silkscreen mesh and reusable. They're sticky on the back side. You wash it off with just water and then stick it back in the backer, and it's good for the next time you want to use it. The better care you take of it, the longer it's going to last and the more uses you're going to get out of it. Along with that, you get a little instruction sheet and then some tips, some club information, and my card. So on this, it kind of walks you through the 4 steps and what to do, and we're going to go through and do one. And then I'm going to show you like all the different ways that I've used the little mini transfers after I do one. So you can see I've done it on so just a little metal can. And then I've done one on just a little jar. And there's another example of a different jar that you could use that I haven't used yet. This lantern, which lights up, I did it 4 different ones on each side. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. So that's another example of one that I've done. Oops. I used little pieces to do a mask, and I actually used ink on this instead of chalk. You can use both, it's just that the chalk is going to wash out. But the ink you can heat set, and you just keep throwing it in the wash and you'll be fine. Got that. And then I just dropped here. Also, what I did with ink, because I can do an ink one is for you as well if you want, little koozies. So here's another little one that I mixed 2 different colors with. This one I did the other night where it's just a little wooden thing. I painted it orange, and then I did 2 different minis, one on this side, one on the side. And actually stuck it in my little flower bucket that I created. This is one of our hearts where I just painted it with chalk paste. Actually, I just watered down. So you can actually water this down and use it as paint and paint with it. I actually used 2 different mini transfers. So this is one of the mini transfers I have. It's a little cat face, like Halloween time. And then this, don't be like the rest of them, is like half the size of another mini transfer that I've got here. And I'll show you guys those as well. Okay, so this is my little mini kit and everything I've got. I also did, so from Dollar General, you can get little ones like this in different holidays for $1, literally $1. They stand up, but if you're not crazy about the designs, or you say after the holidays, you pick them up for like 50 cents, quarter or something, you can go ahead and put little mini transfers on it. So here's 2 that I just painted and did little mini transfers on. And of course I can, it's chalk paste, so it's water based. I can wash it right off. So I could actually wash that off and just keep changing it as much as I want. Completely up to you what you want to do, but these are just some more options that you have. All right, so I think what I'll do is hold out a couple of different little mini transfers. So like if you wanted to do a kit and you wanted, say, like, oh, I want 3 different mini transfers and like 10 surfaces, I can put any kind of kits or whatever together. Just tell me like what you're looking for. All right, so I'm actually going to go through and do a transfer on these 3. I'm going to use my jar paste because I don't want to open the paste packet, but you just rip it open and squeeze it onto like a little paper plate or anything in order to use it. Basically it's like a ketchup packet, you know, that you get when you eat out or at the drive-thru or something. Let me go ahead and pick a color. So what else? Oh, what do I got? White. All right, I'm just gonna grab my coral because it should show up good on this. This just happened to be a papaya one, but I've got all different kinds of colors, including white. All right, so for my little starter kit, here's what I was talking about where I got the cat one, and then the don't be like the rest of them. I just used part of this one. I didn't use the bottom part. So I just thought it was like a cute little saying to put with the cat. So you can kind of like mix and match these. And then I've got over here, so if you wanted to actually buy a set of minis, this is the summer one that's out. It's called, what's it called? Hello Summer. So it's just got 12 different summer type themed: on the road, go wild, sunshine, hello summer, little drink, flip flops, camping, popsicle, hiking, beach, mountain magic, bike. So it's just got all different kinds of summer themes. So you can actually buy one of these and get 12 of them that are all in the same thing. And they have them pretty much for everything. There's one for spring, one for Valentine's Day, one for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. There is another summer one that's got like USA and stuff on it for different kinds of themes. So this is the newest one that came out. And as you can see, some are more detailed, some are just very light. And some of the other ones too. So these are from all different sets. Hello, feel free to hit like with your pop on. Hopefully you can see in my mess here. Pop this to the side. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to throw part of this back in here just to pop it out of the way. I'm just going to use the squeegees and stuff I already have out. And I'm going to use my chalk paste jar. And don't forget the instruction sheet. And I can always email you the instructions if needed. It's just a PDF, but I can copy and paste it directly into an email too if needed. All right, so you can kind of see how quickly and easily you can do things. And let's see. So obviously this is chalk paste on the jar. So if I wanted to change this up for all the seasons, just wipe it off with water and do the next one. If you wanted to make it permanent, you would use ink and heat set it. To heat set it, you'd be like putting it in the oven cold, let it heat up to 350 for 30 minutes, and then just turn the oven off and let it cool down. Just basically leave it in there overnight and take it out the next morning. And then then it'll be permanently heat set. You do have to be careful if you're using a dishwasher though, if you're putting it on glass cup, because you can put it on mugs and everything as well. All right, so I grabbed out one of these so you can kind of see. Sometimes they're just very, not super detailed. I mean, this is kind of detailed. It's got the heart and everything on it. But then there's sometimes they're like extremely detailed. You can see this got the nice laurel wreath around it, the writing. So I'll kind of show you. And then of course you get little images. So I'm gonna do these on, I'm gonna do 3 different ones on 3 different surfaces so you can kind of see what comes in the little kit. There are also other little surfaces that you can get or you can ask for. You can get surfaces really cheaply. So this is like a 6-pack. It's double-sided chalkboard tags that come from the Dollar Tree. You can get little ones like this for less than $1 on Amazon. There's also white chalk chips, circles, hearts. This is little metal. You can do it on metal. Little board tags. So, you know, if you're doing gifts or anything like that, or you want a permanent label, or if you just want a decoration, like just like a little I love you that you're adding to something, like a welcome board or something, or a picture that you're giving somebody, that would be perfect. Okay. And I'll show you some more optional surfaces after that, but I'll get working on this. And I'm going to pull out my fuzz cloth. You can just use an old washcloth. Actually, you can just use I can just use my shirt, honestly. My little fleece shirt. That's what I'll do. Just so you know what you have on hand. All right, so for the paste packet, just get a little, you can even use like a thick piece of paper. You just grab a paper plate and then squeeze it out just like you're squeezing ketchup out onto a paper plate. And then you'll have your paste. It's actually like 15 of the paste packets equal 1 jar. So if you have a color that you really like, just get a jar. But otherwise, the paste packets you can get in packs of 6, and you can get them in where there's 6 different colors in a pack, or if there's a color you like, you can just get 6 of that color. Usually most people will get the palette packs that have 6 different colors because they also have shimmers in there, which are the glittery sparkle ones. All right. So this also comes in a pack of like 6 or so from Dollar Tree. These are actual chalkboard ones, so very easy to erase. You can do both sides. If you have a crocodile, you can like punch a hole in it. It's a hole puncher that's meant for like thicker things like this. And of course, this is just a cut up piece of cork, but you could do like a larger cork board or bulletin board and put little things on it. All right, so you do need to fuzz up the transfers, so you can use an old shirt, a washcloth, whatever. You're just adding some lint to the back of it. So as you can see, very easy. Put the little I love you on that one. Just stick it on wherever you want and smooth it down. You want to make sure, basically, you're making sure there's no air bubbles in there. So just stick it on there. And if you put it on and you hate it, you can just wash it off and do it again. So I'm just using my shirt because whatever you have on hand, old washcloth, anything that's going to put a little bit of lint on the back of it. Okay, I'll put my kitty cat on here. And just smooth it down. And as you can see, this one's got a larger silk screen area, so you really want to be careful with air bubbles if you get one of the ones with a bigger area. And then, let's see. So I can see it's really sticky to my finger. I put it on. And it's still pretty sticky. I mean, you want it to be sticky, but you want it to be able to you're going to want to be able to get it off of the board afterwards. Right. One of the nice things about using the little boards are that it hangs over the edge, so it's really easy to get a hold of it to peel it off. All right, so I've got 3 lined up here. If you only get 1 transfer in your paste packet, you can do 1, 1, 1. Let these dry. You can flip it over and do something on the other side. If you get chalk markers, you can get little chalk markers from Dollar Tree for $1, all different colors. You can write on them, and I'll actually show you how to do that on the back of one. And I'll show you what the chalk ones look like too. Okay, so I'll do these first. And I'm still going to pull my towel over here because once I get done, I'm just going to set it on there because I'll show you how to clean them so I can put them back on the backers after they dry. All right, so you've got your little half cut mini squeegee, and you basically have your, say, little paper plate with the chalk paste on it. You're just going to pick up some of it. As you can see, the squeegee's angled. Let me sweep this off so you can kind of see it better. So the squeegee's angled. You want to put the chalk paste on this side here, and then you're going to put it down and across. So, hopefully you guys can see this well. All right. So as you see, I'm going to put it on there. Put it on as thick as you want. Put a little bit more on there. So nice and thick. And then I'm going to go along with the squeegee again, scrape it up. So when I put it on thick, you cannot read what's underneath it. Over here, after I've scraped it up, you can. And then I just scrape that up. And then go the next section thick, scrape it up. Go the next section thick, scrape it up. And do that all the way across. Okay, so if you can see me finish it down here, thick. I don't usually hold it up to do it, but I wanted to make sure you could see it pretty well. All right. Whoops. Okay, so this one's done. Take a piece of the edge, pull it up. I'm going to try to pull it pretty easily. The square ones are pretty easy to pull from one corner, but if you get bigger ones, you want to kind of pull it evenly down. So how awesome is that one? And it's still wet, so if you stick your fingers on it, it's going to be wet. I'm going to set this one here to clean. And there we go. You can also, so like I said, you can put a hole punch in it so you can hang it up, which makes great for ornaments at different seasons. But you can also, Dollar Tree has, you can get ones like this at Walmart too, magnets. So you can actually just glue a magnet on the back, and then you've got magnets for sticking on any metal that you want. A lot of people do that, but there's also the double-sided Velcro that, you know, you could put on things. So whatever you want to do, or if you do the command strips, you could put a command strip on the back and stick that anywhere. You have tons of options. So I'm just going to set this aside, probably about 15 minutes. Actually, probably more like 5. It'll be where I can touch it. And then you'll be able to rub your hands across it really thick like this. And as you can see, it's not coming off. I'm not even getting in the glitter from this one because I used the shimmer paste on me. However, if you take your fingernails and go like this on it, you will scrape up the chalk paste. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the different surfaces, and then I'm going to pull them off one at a time. So just nice and thick. And then just scraping it up and moving it around. And you can put it on thick all over if you want. And then scrape up the excess. And just scrape the excess back onto a plate or whatever you've got it that you're working it on. Honestly, you could use a lid to a jar. So anything you want. You'll see this one had a really big screen area. So this is my little cork board that's got a little sticky on the back, so I can stick this anywhere. But you get these. Let me show you where this came, what I cut up to make these. You can buy them like that, but you can also buy. Let's see if I got it right here. So also Dollar Tree. Hey, how you doing? Hey everybody. I'm just kind of showing. I didn't realize people popping on. What to do with the little mini kits that I have that I sell. And what was in them. So I'll show the kit again as to what's in it. But this is from Dollar Tree, and I cut them up for my kit. But you could just for $1 get this and put little kitty cats everywhere, or little cats, and I love you. I could do multiple ones on there. Okay. So pull it off nice and easy. Now I got a pink cat. This coral's like kind of like a hot pink. Right, and so it's the same transfer, just 2 different colors. And then I'm going to do the little I love you. If you happen to get different colors, you can mix and match the colors. I could do the heart in pink, and then the I love and the IU in different colors. Completely up to you. I could take the heart and just put the heart on another transfer if I wanted. Very easy to do. And I just got it on my finger. It's water-based, so it will wipe right off. Okay. So I very quickly just did 1, 2, 3 transfers. So you can see how easy it is to make a gift or gift tags. I mean, you could do this with a little hole punch in there, I love you, and this is like a little gift tag. You can, ah! It's okay. It's okay. But on the back of it, because I did say I have chalk markers, but you could even use a Sharpie if you wanted to. On the back, I could write, like, because this is chalk also, and it writes basically like a Sharpie, but it is chalk. So I could just write happy birthday, put a tag on it, put a name on it, or a year or a date or something, and you can make your own little gift tag, honestly. And this came to pack, so it's probably like less than 10 cents. You can design up any way you want. Now these chalk markers are where those are liquid chalk markers from Chalk Couture, so they write nice. They write like Sharpies on stuff. These are from ones that you get from Dollar Tree, but you can get them like TJ Maxx and Amazon, all over the place. It's actually a soft chalk, or they call it like a dustless chalk pen. And on it you can write, but you'll see it looks different. So it's a nice soft chalk, just like writing on a chalkboard. But you can see how it writes. So this is nice and easily printed. This is more of a, you know, like a fatter chalk marker, more like a chalk. So if you can see the difference there, and just like even just in my H's, how they were. And this is the first one I did, so I'm going to touch it. And it's already dry that I can touch it. And what was that? I don't even know how long that was. So I've got these. Now, the squeegee silicone, you can also clean that. So I'm going to go through and show you how to clean it up. So once you get your transfer in your kit, you'll be able to clean it up, let it dry, and stick it back in the backer so you can reuse it over and over and over again if you want. Or if you've got somebody else around, you can always trade with them. Whatever you want to do. All right. So to wash these, I'm just going to do one at a time. There's different ways you can do it. So this is just filled with water. Just go to the tap, fill water. You can just take a wet washcloth or a wet sponge. Let's see. So this is kind of like this is one of the erasers. It's like a magic eraser, but you can use an old washcloth, an old rag, anything. You can also use Clorox wipes. It's not going to hurt. The Clorox wipes don't hurt it. It more or less speeds up the drying process. So you just spray it down with some water. I sometimes will give it a few seconds to sit on there. And then you just take your eraser or washcloth. You can use an old towel to put it on. I can actually do it right here on the table if I wanted. And you can always spray a little bit more water. You can just honestly do it on the sink under running water as well. So I'll do this one on the towel and I'll show you on the table. Now this one is a really detailed transfer, so I want to make sure that I get, because it has lots of little tiny spaces, I want to make sure I get all the chalk paste out of it. So I'm just kind of like going over it carefully, moving it around. So like I said, one of these sides are sticky. When you hear the squeaking, that's good. It means it's still sticky. When you stop hearing the squeaking, that's kind of like when it's not getting so sticky. But I can hold it up to the light and I can see I got all the laurel wreath clear, but it looks like the little tiny letters up there have a little bit on them, so I'm just going to put a little bit more water there and just kind of like go over it again. Sometimes the new paste formula does want to stick in there. All right, nice and clean. So then you just set it out, sticky side up to dry. And within 15 minutes, I'll be able to stick it back in the backer. You can leave it out overnight. It's not going to hurt anything. So 2 other ways to clean these. I use my Clorox wipes, and I use Clorox wipes a lot when I use ink, because ink is permanent, and especially if you're doing a t-shirt or something, or a tea towel, or other mitts, you want to make sure your hands stay clean, and the Clorox wipes really get it nice and clean easily. You want to make sure that you're clean, so when you go to touch it to get the transfer off, you're not mistakenly putting like inky fingerprints on anything, which I have done. So I usually spray it down with water. Sometimes you can even have a little water bucket next to you that you're just putting them in, and then clean them when you get done playing. Yeah, I said playing. All right, so this one has got the big cat face, so it's got a lot of silkscreen area, but it's big silkscreen area, so pretty easy to clean. I'm just going over it with my little Clorox wipe. You can kind of see a cat face on there. Oh, I was going to show you it right on the table, wasn't I? I can do that after, I guess. All right. So really the only fine details he has are a little bit on his ears. And just kind of like wiping it off. The nice thing about the Clorox wipes, if you use them, is they, because of the alcohol in them, it kind of speeds up the drying process. Where the other, just water, will probably take a little bit longer to dry. These smaller ones are pretty quick and easy for drying. But if you're doing like a really big transfer. And all nice and clean. Oh, he does have little fangs down there. Make sure the little fangs are nice and clean. Didn't even really realize that he had little fangs on the bottom, but he does. That one, I'll leave that one out to dry as well. So like I said, you can do it right on the table. I've got like a little, it's like a plastic rubberized kind of mat to protect the desk. But you could do it on the counter or anything. So just, again, put it out, do the non-sticky side first. And I just got it sitting there. Again, you can use the Clorox wipe or eraser, whatever you want, and just wipe it. Sometimes it's easier to do flat like this, completely up to you. And so the pink did stain the eraser a little for a square. That's the mesh, the non-mesh area. That does not hurt or matter. It's not going to do anything. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with this. And just making sure that it looks clean. So I should not be able to see any color in that silkscreen area. So nice and clean. Looks like I may have a little bit on the front side, so I'm just going to carefully go over that again on that little eye. Whoops. All right, so nice and clean. Sticky side up to dry. Get this to clean my hands off. And the squeegee's super easy to clean. You can run it under water and just rub your fingers across it. You can use the eraser with water. You can just use a Clorox wipe. Clorox wipes really just easily take it off. And then I will set this out to dry too, and I'll put it back in my little bin of squeegees. The more you do it, the more colors you use, the more squeegees you might want to have, because it just makes it easier. They don't have to clean them off in between every color that you use. And I just toss that in the garbage, and I put this by the sink. So that's pretty much the mini kits on how you do it. For anybody that missed the beginning, where I showed the little instruction sheet that comes in, it walks you through the 4 steps that we just went through on how to do one. A couple of little tips, info about the club, my contact information that you get, and then in the kit comes, so review again, the 3 surfaces, which are the corkboard, a little wooden one, a chalk chip, and again, for the chalk chip and the little wooden one, you can do both sides stuff. You get a paste packet, which again is like a ketchup packet, but it means it's bigger. You can do over 80 transfers with it. You get one of your little stencils, and it might be a random one depending on what I have in stock. string there. And then you get a half a little mini squeegee. And again, I can always do custom kits if you want like an entire sheet, or if you want 2 or 3 of these and certain themed, then I can put little kits together. And my VIP group has the information on that, because this is the public viewing page and I'm allowed to post it on my VIP group for the actual prices. But then anybody who just tuned in late, different items that I've used little smaller transfers on with chalk paste. You get little wooden cutouts and stuff like this at the Dollar Tree. Where you can paint them or just put a chalk chip on it. 2-sided. I just happen to have little post-its in this one. My little lantern that lights up where I did one on each different side. And you can mix and match colors too. You don't have to use the same color all the time. Little jars. They've got little wooden boxes that you can put stuff in or decorate up. This was a little wand that I painted. Little wooden one, and I put a transfer on one side, transfer on the other. Stick it in there. And then this is a little, it's actually magnetic. A little magnetic board. And of course you can wash it off and do it again. The magnets that I talked about, obviously magnetic, that you can get at Dollar Tree. Different surfaces like metal, another more wooden chalk chips, little wooden tags, little chalkboard tags or paper tags. Again, there's all different kinds of themes available. Here's another thing that we could do. This is a magnetic one that actually can hold stuff, but you can actually chalk. You could chalk the inside, you could chalk the lid, you chalk the inside of the lid, anything you want. And this one already has a magnet on it. Oop, that's gonna make it tip. What else do we got? Okay, this is the water bath I made for my mom. And I actually used ink on it because it's going to be outside permanent. But I put a couple little ones on there. What else did I use? Ink. I had done one on this. I had done some on a little mask. And remember, ink is more permanent. I got this little hat at the Dollar Tree because it's super cute. But you could easily put a little transfer on it. Or anything. It's a cute little one. You can get little stands like this where you can put it on there, but you can also put paper on it. Dollar Tree's good about having little ones like this that you can decorate up, or even the back side, you could take the sticker off and paint it and have another design. You can chalk on little gift bags. You can, this is just a pack of blank cards. So, go ahead, so it's just cards and envelopes that are blank. I think I got these at Dollar General for $1. There's like 10 of them in there. It was $1, $1.50, something like that. You can tape it on. You can do a little, this is just chalk. And that, you can also always, I guess, stick one of those on if you want to decorate it up better. That's another little thing that you can do with them. So these are all things that you could do just with the little mini sample kits that I have. And again, this is one where, this is one I got this for $1. You know, after Mother's Day this weekend, I'm sure they'll if there's any left, they'll be marked down. But I painted a couple of them and put little mini transfers on them. This is a little Q-tip holder that I could put a little thing on. You can get these as well, and you can paint them and then put little stuff on them. So that's just kind of like a whole wide variety of different things that you can do just with the little minis to start out. So if you want to just like try it and see what it's like, let me know and send me a message. I can give you a link to the page so you can actually see what's available. And if you decided that you wanted to like try ink instead, where like I have like some koozies and tea towels and things like that I've done. I've got little masks as well. Let me know because I can always do an ink kit for you instead. Just remember that the ink is permanent, so you want to make sure to clean it up, any excess and stuff that you have after. And again, I used ink on this as well. I haven't tested the terracotta pot outside yet to make sure that it holds up in the weather. So I'm going to do that and see if I need to spray anything on it. But I don't, it's a terracotta pot, so I think it's going to be fine. And it's protected by a lid. Alright, so this is my whole little mess of all this different stuff that you can use with just one little mini transfer kit. So again, here's a little mini Kieran's kit. Or you could always get like a full page of things if you wanted to order a whole sheet. And you just cut them up into the smaller pieces. So this is the smallest size that we have for the little squares. And then the next size up is the one that I did last night, which is, if you try a minis to see if you like it, it's the A size, which is a 5x7. And you can see there's so many different things. You can do this on picture frames, everything. But this is one I did last night on the little house. And I used 3 different colors for that one, just because I decided to. But I think I'm going to put this one on that little gift bag, that red gift bag too, because that should look pretty nice. But I'll do that another night. But again, this is, I did this last night within, I mean, I was already touching those, but if I were to use my fingernails and scratch like this, I would scratch up the chalk paste. So don't do that. If you wanted to make sure that the chalk paste stayed permanent, you'd spray it with like a little poly spray or something, polyurethane, and then 1 or 2 times with just a little spray can of it, and that would make it permanent if you were worried about it. I kind of like that it's not permanent because then I can always change it, or if I want to change up a color scheme and turn things all in like black and white or red and white or red and blue, whatever color theme I wanted to do, I could do that. Same design, just different colors. All right, I'm going to sign off for the night. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Go ahead and hit like or comment. If you're catching on a replay, just say catching me on a replay. If you do get a mini kit and you want to do it together, let me know, because we can like go live with each other. And I can like walk you through actually doing the kits. And we can pretty much do them together. All right. Looks like everybody has signed off. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down for the night. And have a good night and go outside and enjoy the weather. And let me know if you want, if you're interested in it, or if you're thinking about a mini kit, let me know. All right. I do still have like welcome leaders and stuff and some Mother's Day stuff if anybody's looking for last minute gifts. All right. Night, guys. Have fun.